Good evening. I'm here on day 4 of my TMS journey. I started on Monday. Today's Thursday. Monday was a mapping day and one session. The last 3 days have been 2 sessions with 50 minutes in between. Each of my sessions is 3 minutes long because it is a Brainsway deep TMS treatment. Been learning more as the days are going by, but when I've been discussing the amount of intensity that they've been doing, so on day 1, it took a while for them to get my mapping done by trying to get my motor threshold, MT, which is when they look at your hands or feet and they are waiting to see what amount of the impulse, magnetic impulse, will make your hand twitch or a couple fingers twitch. They had a hard time getting that on me on Monday, but finally they did, and I was told 110 was my goal of MT, which is for the motor threshold. For the most effective treatment for me, I needed to be at 110, but some people can't tolerate that right away. You need to ease into it. You haven't done it before. So when I've been basically mentioning 60 was the first day, and the second day I went to 63 and then 65. I've been increasing by little bits. And then yesterday, I think I ended at 70. So today he started me at 73. And then my last of the two, 50 minutes later, was 75. I feel like I could probably take more, but I don't want to suddenly be overwhelmed by it. The stuff that I was reading about the motor threshold, when they tell you your amount, then the treatment dose is the percent that you're building up to get to that larger amount, which was your motor threshold. So they don't get you to that point where your hands are twitching every time you're in there. That's just what they know is where your kind of threshold is of what's going to make that reaction happen. So I understand it a little bit more, and I know that means there's 2 numbers, and what those are is percent of motor threshold. 100% would be my max threshold amount. Then the other amounts are me building up to that, and that's the treatment dose amount. Okay. So I wasn't going to talk a whole lot today. Not much has happened. The treatments went fine today. It was very quick because I'm getting used to getting fitted for the cap and the helmet. Had my mouth guard and my earplugs, and then I did some journaling and some reading in the break in the lobby, which is kind of like a meditation room and stuff. So day 4, tomorrow will be day 5, which is the end of the first week, and then I have a break over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. I am here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and we are expecting snow this weekend. We've had freezing temperatures, so really hoping that doesn't happen, but at least I'm in my cozy condo and looking at the ocean, and I can just sit here and watch it snow if that's what's going to happen. But I feel bad for people that have to deal with it more. I guess the only thing that I talked to them about today is because I had a counseling session with my psychologist before my appointment, because I see her on Thursdays, and I was letting her know that I think, like I mentioned, I'm having some sleep problems, where the night before 3 times woke up in a panic, not knowing where I was, which was very unusual. And last night, what happened is I went into a really deep sleep. I tried to go to sleep earlier than my usual, which was about 12:30. And I think I slept pretty deeply. And I slept through till about 6:30 or 7 this morning. And I woke up in the middle of like a crazy dream. Now, preface that, my whole life I have been a crazy dreamer. My whole family is. We all talk about that. Vivid dreams, not necessarily nightmares all the time. Some are worse than others, but typically it's just crazy stuff going on. It's combining of different parts of my life, different people from different parts of my life. I used to have a recurrent theme when I was younger. So what happened is, I think I mentioned I did not sleep well, at least for the last year, but really the last 5 or 6, I've not dreamt as much. Even nights where I got 7-8 hours of sleep or went back to sleep in the morning for a while. This last year I was not getting any sleep, and they were concerned that the treatment was not going to work if I wasn't getting at least 6 to 7 hours a night. So the last couple weeks before treatment, I was trying some things they recommended, which were thiamine, say that right, and also that was for a week. Then the next week before treatment was adding magnesium glycate before bed. And I do think it made me kind of groggy. I think it made me sleep better, fall asleep better. And when I would wake up, if it was the middle of the night or early morning, I would feel still groggy enough to go back to sleep. So that was a difference. I don't think it was significant though until I started treatment Monday after doing both those for 2 weeks and 1 week. Last year I had nights I didn't go to sleep all night long and never even felt tired. So I was getting a little upset about this. I talked to my counselor about this. I talked to them about this. I think what it is my body slowing down. Part of that is I'm not in the year that I was in last year where I was working and taking care of my house to get ready to sell like 24/7. Part of it is I was still working on trying to heal from a very toxic, bad relationship that I'd had off and on for 3 years that was triggering a lot of very disturbing things and was causing bad dreams. Really, they weren't even dreams. It's like I would just fall asleep and I would hear certain things that would trigger me and wake me up. Um, I think the difference this last month or month and a half, I'm not working anymore. I'm not at the house anymore. I have been doing a lot of work on a lot of those things that had been bothering me, but I've just been able to naturally slow down. And then adding those medicines, thinking I needed them, and then now doing the treatment, which can wear you out, it just overworks your brain. It's almost like too much. So I'm going to stop for now the L-theanine and the magnesium glycate to see if I can stay with my constants, and then if that's what was causing some of these things. But really what my counselor said is I need to stop trying to control everything so much and just accept and be at peace with the fact that my body needs to catch up on a year's worth of sleep or more. So if I need to sleep longer, if I need to come home and take a nap or whatever, do it. And just like I said yesterday, I am working on an entire month of just healthy, but I'm a little OCD where also I was almost over controlling trying to be healthy, which isn't healthy. So there's a lot to process and a lot to think about. And the most important thing for me is peace and to just slow down and to not make things complicated and to just let the process work because I really want the process to work. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to say goodnight now. Blessings, and I will see you tomorrow.